I wanted to clarify. I think people think that I'm way higher on JJ McCarthy than I might actually be, and I understand that that's because I had the JJ McCarthy has some Tom Brady tendencies, and
but we heard an even crazier comparison just a few days ago, so maybe we should be apologizing to you.
Oh, and did you see this, Jack? Harrison Phillips, the Vikings defensive tackle, came out and he said he reminds me of Josh Allen when I saw him in Buffalo.
No, I didn't.
About JJ McCarthy. I started laughing out loud.
People say crazy. Even NFL players say crazy stuff.
But again, I don't think people are talking about the play, like on the field comparison, which is maybe that's my fault and Harrison Phillips' fault, because that's what you really should be comparing players. But he said coming into his own, understanding the power that he has to lead the organization, he's doing a fantastic job of that. So all the off the field stuff, JJ McCarthy checks all the boxes. And I'm standing by that. I'm very happy with the leader that JJ McCarthy is, because there are quarterbacks, there are players that don't represent your organization well, and they don't foster a good community for your team.
I'm seeing a different quote than you, Paul, from Harrison Phillips.
What are you seeing?
I'm seeing, here's what Harrison Phillips said. He reminds me of Josh Allen. Obviously, there's the leadership component, but really it's the arm. I think he's got a stronger arm than Josh Allen. It might be the strongest arm in the league. He can also squat 850. He's basically Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen in a slightly smaller body. That's the quote I'm seeing. I don't know where you're getting this from.
Yeah,
clearly he's talking about the arm strength, the philosophy.
Yeah. Squats 850.
And then later he said he's Josh Allen without the interceptions.
Yeah, so he's hey, I'll take it. If he wants to say that, I'm not going to be one to complain.
He's the greatest ever.
I'm not going to be one to complain. But what I think needs to be readjusted is I think the expectation for JJ McCarthy, and this is bothering me too about what some Vikings fans are doing. Who was it? I want to make sure I get the.
Did he throw a pass in his Michigan career? Like serious.
The Purple for the Win podcast was reacting today, and generally speaking, I like Purple FTW. Get Up, I guess, had Peter Schrager said JJ McCarthy's under more pressure than Caleb Williams this season. Now, Purple FTW, I agree with this. He said the difference is the Bears need Caleb Williams to play lights out and to be near perfect to be successful. JJ McCarthy just needs to be a game manager, and the Vikings will do damage in the NFC. And I don't necessarily think that that's wrong, but I do think that that's a poor approach for the fan base to take. And I think I started falling into that as well, where I've been like, yeah, if JJ's just solid, we can go on a run here. Because, like, let's be very clear, if JJ McCarthy is not really good, the Vikings are not a Super Bowl contender. Like, if he's just fine, we can talk.
Probably don't even win a playoff game.
Yeah, we can talk about how great of a team they have and all that. But Sam Darnold was really good last year. That's why they were a Super Bowl contender up until they flamed out the last 2 weeks. If JJ McCarthy is worse than Sam Darnold was last year, which is probably the realistic expectation, then the Vikings are not going anywhere. It's a good stepping stone, sure, if he's solid. But when we're talking about the Vikings as a contender, and I'm just being completely truthful here, they can't be viewed as a real contender if you don't think JJ McCarthy will be really good.
I get to have more expectations and more pressure than Caleb Williams is a bit nuts as well.
And that is also a bad take from Schrager there, because Caleb Williams, Schrager, I didn't watch the clip, so I'm sorry. I know that you really should watch the clip before talking about it, but I'm imagining what Schrager's coming from, and I really should watch the clip. Is that someone arguing saying that JJ has more pressure? Your stance should be that the Vikings are more aligned to win right now, so the pressure's on you and the Vikings have basically announced they have a 3-year window. That's sort of that's basically what they're saying by going with McCarthy right now. Sorry, are you good over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's actually messing with my camera. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's what he said. What he said was JJ McCarthy, all the pressure's on him to come in now and do basically what Sam Darnold did last year.
Yeah.
And Caleb Williams, it's just like if he plays good football, that's good enough.
And I disagree. Like, Caleb Williams is absolutely under more pressure because
number one pick, second year.
New head coach, second year with a new coach that has high expectations. Your whole fan base thinks you're the savior of the franchise.
People are pretending he had a bad year last year, which is weird.
You cannot compare. The pressure is way more on Caleb. JJ has much more of a leash, especially to start the year. But the whole thing that I'm trying to get at with this is when Vikings fans are talking about JJ McCarthy, we do need to be realistic and say, all right, it's not like we can't just say, oh, hopefully he's a game manager. If you're talking Super Bowl for the Vikings next year, then you can't say as long as he's a game manager. If you want to be, and I think it's delusional, really, for the Vikings to be Super Bowl contenders in people's eyes right now. But if you're going to do that, it's those two things can't go hand in hand. He has to be really good. Your expectations for McCarthy are really high.
Well, Pickett was a game manager. I won a Super Bowl.
But that might be Schrager saying he's under pressure because Schrager might think they're a Super Bowl team. So,
but I'll say this much. I don't think JJ McCarthy and Caleb Williams are in that different of a situation than you think. Here is the difference between them, though. JJ McCarthy, the Vikings are putting a lot of confidence in him very publicly. Particularly, they're letting Sam Darnold, who just won them 13 games, walk because they're saying, JJ McCarthy, we think you're that guy. Caleb Williams, there's no other option in Chicago. There's nothing to compare him to. If he has a decent season, they win 8 or 9 games, he looks okay. People will say, well, it's Caleb Williams. He's the guy. He's doing better.
Oh, yeah.
If the Vikings win 8 or 9 games and JJ McCarthy looks mediocre, every headline, and Sam Darnold's a good year in Seattle, every headline is going to be, where would this team be with Sam Darnold? Would they be winning a Super Bowl? Like, the Vikings have made a very public choice of JJ McCarthy over a very good player. So in that sense, I think, I'm not saying that the Schrager take's totally right, but I'm not all that interested in that. No. I think that there is a kind of pressure JJ McCarthy has to be great right now because the Vikings had an alternative that could have been better than him.
That's fair.
But they just passed.
Yes. That's very fair.
I don't think it's realistic to expect McCarthy to go win 14 games.
No, it's not. I mean, and the schedule's way harder this year than last year. There's a lot of factors.
The chances are, too, and people won't admit this, but if Sam Darnold comes back, they don't win 14 games again.
Probably not.
It's unrealistic to say JJ McCarthy, who's now coming off an injury, playing his first snaps, go and win 14 games.
And you're seeing people say that, though. You're seeing people be like, I've seen headlines that are like, will the Vikings win 14 games again? It's
and like, I guess that's the Schrager's point, right?
But yeah, it's when it comes down to this year in particular, I see Ziggy's argument of, look, the Vikings are publicly standing behind him. So of course there's pressure there. And maybe in the long run, Caleb and JJ both have a lot of pressure of being starting quarterbacks for teams that are hoping to get back to Super Bowl worthy caliber. But for this year in particular, it is Caleb Williams. Like that is.
Yeah, I agree. We don't disagree on that point. I'm just saying I don't think they're as different or as far apart as people think.
I agree. I just think it's all about the timeline you're talking about. If Caleb Williams is horrible at Thanksgiving, you're panicking more as a Bears fan than if JJ McCarthy's horrible by Thanksgiving. There's different, you might.
No, but if JJ McCarthy's bad, as a Vikings fan, I feel worse than if Caleb Williams is bad.
The other side of the ball.
Depends. It's like if Darnold's lighting it up in Seattle, yeah, but there's more factors that go into the Vikings feeling bad than the Bears.
The other side of the ball is this is just what the Bears do. Like, they've had so many early first round quarterbacks who have stunk. If it happens to Caleb Williams, I think you might be able to just blame the franchise. Where if,
which he's already set himself up for well with the book that's coming out.
If Caleb Williams is playing poor and McCarthy's playing poor and Darnold's playing well, I might be more upset being a Vikings fan.
Okay, yeah.
I might if I'm a Bears, I'm like, you know what?
It depends how well. I mean, yeah, if Darnold's playing MVP football, I'm not expecting that. If he's playing MVP football, I will be upset.
If Caleb stinks, on which he does, but when the Bears fans
just like par for the course.
When the Bears fans find that out, they might just be like, you know what, this is just a Bears thing. It's just the Bears.
The very, very, very final thing before we do this draft is I saw like Score North on Purple Daily. They said regardless of how I think it was Ross Tucker said, regardless of how excited the Vikings claim they are, they probably have some concerns with JJ McCarthy. And yes, everyone should have some concerns when you have a rookie quarterback coming in. But I think all the points we're making right here, when people tell you the Vikings, if reports come out that the Vikings don't believe in McCarthy, like they would, it's not like Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold signed for $60 million a year. Like, if they really didn't believe in McCarthy, they could have forked over the money.
Daniel Jones left because he believed there was no chance to win a starting job in Minnesota.
So the two things you should take away from this are the Vikings absolutely believe McCarthy, and the Vikings need him to be very good to be contenders. And anything other than that is people being a little delusional.